Hello everyone, welcome to Epsilon Pro Academy. In today's lesson, we will be looking at polynomial division, a very important topic in algebra that frequently appears in NECO, WAEC, especially in JAMB. In this lesson, I will explain the concept step by step using simple example and simple approach so that every student, regardless of their academic level, can understand it clearly. By the end of this video, you should be able to divide polynomial confidently and also avoid examination mistake. So let's get started. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, ensure you click on the subscribe button. Also turn on your notification so that you can get an update whenever we post. Let's get started. A polynomial is an algebraic expression with variable raised to the power of whole number power only. Example of a polynomial is 4x raised to the power of 4 plus x raised to the power of 3 minus 6x raised to the power of 2 plus 8x plus 5. This is an example of a polynomial. 2x raised to the power of 3 plus 3 minus 6x raised to the power of 4 plus x. Another is 5x plus 2x raised to the power of 5 plus 3x squared plus 9. Okay, let us consider these three examples on the board. These are examples of a polynomial. Now take note of this. When we say polynomial, the index must not be negative. Their powers will never be negative. Again, it will not contain a fraction as their power. The power must be in a whole number. Now take note of this. This is an important examination tips. If a polynomial is given to you, always arrange polynomial in descending power. Descending power. Number 2, if a power is missing, insert 0 as its coefficient, Take note of this concept. Now let us examine the first one. The power ranges from 4 to 0 when x equal to 0. In every constant term, the variable attached to it is always raised to the power of 0. So it ranges from x raised to the power of 4 to x raised to the power of 0. X raised to the power of 4, x raised to the power of 3, x raised to the power of 2, x raised to the power of 1, and x raised to the power of 0. But in the second one, we have x raised to the power of 3, x raised to the power of 0, x raised to the power of 4, and x raised to the power of 1. So this person is not in descending order of their powers. X raised to the power of 1, x raised to the power of 5, x raised to the power of 2, and x raised to the power of 0. So we are going to arrange the second and the third equation using these principles. Using the principles, the second one is given as 2x raised to the power of 3 plus 3 minus 6x raised to the power of 4 plus x. So we are going to arrange the polynomial in descending powers. Alright, that becomes the maximum power is 6. 6x raised to the power of 4 Then after 4 is 3 plus x raised to the power of 3. After 3 is 2 plus. Now rule number 2 is that if a polynomial is missing, insert 0 as its coefficient. Insert 0 as its coefficient. Since we don't have x raised to the power of 2, we are going to provide x raised to the power of 2 where the coefficient is equal to 0. So that becomes 0x raised to the power of 2 because it was missing from the question. Alright, so after x raised to the power of 2 is x raised to the power of 1. That is plus x raised to the power of 1 and x raised to the power of 0, which is the constant term 3. Okay, we are done with number 2. Let's do the same to the number 3. Number 3 is 5x. Number 3, this is number 1, this is number 2, and this is 3. So number 3, we have 5x plus 2x raised to the power of 5 plus 3x raised to the power of 2 plus 9. Let us apply the first and the second rule to this. By being that the maximum power is x raised to the power of 5, so that will be the first term written 2x raised to the power of 5 plus the next is x raised to the power of 4. And we don't have x raised to the power of 4 in the expression on the board. What must be done? We are going to apply the rule number 2 on the board. If a power is missing, insert 0 as its coefficient. So that will be 0x raised to the power of 4 plus the next is after 4 is 3 because we are arranging this in descending order according to rule number 1. Always arrange polynomial in descending order of their power. So that becomes 0x raised to the power of 3. Since x raised to the power of 3 was not provided, so we have to provide x raised to the power of 3 by attaching 0 as its coefficient. Next is x raised to the power of 2 plus 3x raised to the power of 2 plus next is raised to the power of 1, which is 5x. 5x raised to the power of 1 and x raised to the power of 0. 9x raised to the power of 0 is the same thing as 9. So polynomial division is the process of dividing a polynomial by another polynomial, just like when we divide an ordinary number with a number. Example is 3x squared minus 2x plus 4 divided by x minus 2. X minus 2. X minus 2. Now the number written at the top, the numerator in polynomial, it is called the dividend. Dividend. Whereas the denominator in polynomial is called the divisor. The divisor. So the answer we obtain after the division is called the quotient, whereas whatever is left over is called the remainder. So take note of these important terms. In polynomial, we don't use the term numerator and denominator. We use dividend and divisor. To avoid mistake, when dividing polynomial, we must consider these 4 steps. The first is step 1. Divide the first term of the dividend by the first term of the divisor to obtain the first term of the quotient of the quotient of the quotient. Step number 2. Step number 2. Multiply each term of the divisor by the first term of the quotient. Step 3. Subtract the product obtained in step 2. Then add the next term of the dividend to it. And step 4, repeat the steps again. Repeat the steps again. So we must pass through these 4 steps to avoid common mistakes. Let us consider the example on the board. 3x squared minus 2x plus 4, all divided by x minus 2. Now we are going to solve this using the long division method. In the long division method, we draw a perpendicular line this way. Okay, so the dividend is written inside. The dividend is 3x squared minus 2x plus 4. That is the dividend. And the divisor is x minus 2. So from the first step, divide the first term of dividend by the first term of the divisor to obtain the first term of the quotient. So this is the dividend and this is the divisor. So we are going to divide the first term of dividend by the first term of the divisor. The first term of the dividend is this, while the first term of the divisor is this. So if we divide 3x squared by x, according to the law of indices, it will become 3x raised to the power of 2 minus 1. There is an invisible 1 as a power of the divisor. So it will become 2 minus 1, and that will yield 3x raised to the power of 1, which is something as 3x. So we are going to obtain 3x, which is the first term of the quotient. The first term of the quotient. Step number 2, multiply each term of the divisor. Multiply each term of the divisor by the first term of the quotient. On the board, by the first term of the quotient. So that becomes x times this and minus 2 times this. That is the meaning. So if you multiply this by x, we are going to have this again. 3x squared minus 2 times 3x gives minus 6x x. So the next step is subtract the product, which is step number 3. Subtract the product obtained in step number 2. So that becomes, we are going to subtract this. Here is minus. Okay, so we are subtracting this from this. We are subtracting this from this. That becomes 3x squared minus 3x squared gives 0. Minus 2x minus times minus is plus. So here becomes plus. Minus 2x plus 6x becomes plus 4x. Subtract the product obtained in step 2. Then add the next term of the dividend to it. Adding the next term of dividend, next term of dividend is plus 4. We are at this point, so the next term is plus 4 plus 4. We are obtaining 0 plus 4x plus 4. Now 0 plus 4x plus 4 is the same thing as 4x plus 4. We can take off the 0 plus from it. So we are left with 4x plus 4. This 4x plus 4 is going to serve as a new dividend. Now we are going to step number 4. Step number 4 is repeat the steps again. Repeat the steps again from step number 1. So repeating the steps again, we have, starting from step number 1. Step number 1, divide the first term of the dividend by the first term of the divisor. Obtain the first term of the quotient. So first term of the dividend on the board is 4x. That will become 4x divided by the first term of the divisor, which is x, and x cancels x. We are going to be left with just 4. Take note of this. So that becomes the first term of the quotient plus 4. Next is step number 2. And in step number 2, we will multiply each term of the divisor by the first term of the quotient. So we are going to multiply this and this by this. X times 4 gives 4x. And minus 2 times 4 gives minus 8. Step number 3. Subtract the product obtained in step 2, which is this. Subtracting this from this. Four minus 4 is 0, and 4 minus 8. Minus times minus is plus, so we are obtaining 4 plus 8, which gives plus 12, which is the same thing as 12. So we are taking off the 0. It is the same thing as 12. At this point, we cannot repeat the steps again. Reason is because the power of the variable in the divisor is greater than what is remaining, which is 12. The power of the variable in the divisor is 1, that is x raised to the power of 1, whereas 12 has its variable as x raised to the power of 0. So 12 is something as 12x raised to the power of 0, and this is x raised to the power of 1. The power of the variable of the divisor is greater than that of the remainder. This point we can no longer divide. Let us consider example number 1 on the board. The example is, divide the polynomial p1 of x is equal to 4x squared plus 2x plus 8 by the polynomial p of x equal to x plus 2. This is so simple. We are going to solve this step by steps using the appropriate approach. So we are going to solve this with the first, second, third, and fourth approach to avoid mistakes. Solution. The first thing we have to do is to draw a perpendicular line this way. The dividend is taken inside, which is 4x squared plus 2x plus 8. And the divisor is written at this point. Okay, so the first thing we must do is to divide the first step of the dividend by the first step of the divisor, obtain the first term of the quotient. So the first term of the dividend is 4x raised to the power of 2, and the first term of the divisor is x. So you are going to divide this by x. If you divide this by x, you are going to obtain 4x, which is basically the first term of the quotient. So the 4x is going to be written above 4x. That's the first term of the quotient. Now the next thing, which is the step number 2, is to multiply the first term of the quotient by all the term of the divisor. So that is to say, to be x times 4x, and x times 4x gives 4x squared, then plus 2 times 4x plus 2 times 4x gives plus 8x. Step number 3, subtract this from this. So that becomes 4x squared minus 4x squared gives 0. I'm not going to put the 0 right here. Let's move on to the next. 2x minus 8x gives minus 6x. In step number 3, we are required to subtract this from this. To subtract this from this, after obtaining the result, the next thing is to add the next term of the dividend to it. The terms in polynomial must always be arranged in order, especially their index. So it is arranged in descending order of their powers. So in this polynomial, we are having minus 6x according to the steps rule in number 3. After subtracting this from this, the next thing is to add the term from the dividend, adding the next term from the dividend. So don't get confused at this point. After minus 6x raised to the power of 1, the next should be a term, x raised to the power of 0. So take note of this. If it was actually minus 6x raised to the power of 4 at this point, the next term that will be added to it will be x raised to the power of 3. So if it was x raised to the power of 3, the next term will be x raised to the power of 2. So take note of this. After x raised to the power of 2 is x raised to the power of 1 before x raised to the power of 0, which is a constant term. So the next term we are adding right here is plus 8. It is always in order. It is always in order. So we have plus 8. Yes, plus 8. This is the new dividend. So we are going to repeat the steps again according to step number 4. Starting from step number 1, divide the first term of the dividend by the first term of the divisor. Obtain another quotient. Obtain another quotient. So this is the first term of dividend, minus 6x divided by the first term of the divisor, which is x. If you divide this by this, we are going to obtain just minus 6. X cancels x. So this is what we call the quotient, the next term of the quotient written above, which is minus 6. We are having minus 6. Step number 2, multiply all the terms here by the minus 6 we just obtained. We are not multiplying these terms by everybody, but just by this person that was just obtained in this step. Take note of that. So x times minus 6 is going to give minus 6x, and plus 2 times minus 6 is going to give minus 12. Step number 3 is to subtract this from this. Subtract this from this. That becomes minus 6 minus 6 minus minus 6. Minus times minus is plus. So everything in this line is positive at this point. Minus 6 plus 6 is 0. I don't have to write the 0. Let's omit the 0. Next is plus 8 minus 12. Don't forget this sign written behind. So minus times minus again gives plus. And we are obtaining plus again. So that is plus 8 plus 12 is equal to 20. This is the last and the final stage. At this point, we can no longer divide. We cannot repeat the steps again. The reason is because the power of the variable of the divisor is greater than that of 20. So since that is so, this will be the final stage. Now the question is, divide the polynomial by this. So after the division, we are obtaining 20 as the final result. This final result is what we call remainder. This final result is what we call remainder. And this number written here is what we call the quotient. Whereas the numerator that was given is called the dividend and the denominator is called the divisor. Let's take another example. Divide 4x cubed plus 6x squared plus 3x plus 7 by 2x plus 5. Solution. First thing is to draw this line. Okay, this is basically the same thing as 4x cubed plus 6x squared plus 3x plus 7 all divided by 2x plus 5. So the dividend is written inside 4x cubed plus 6x squared plus 3x plus 7. Whereas the divisor is written here 2x plus 5. 2x plus 5. Step number 1, we are dividing the first term of the dividend by the first term of the divisor. That is 4x squared, 4x raised to the power of 3 divided by 2x. 2x. 4 divided by 2 gives 2. X raised to the power of 3 minus x raised to the power of 1 gives x raised to the power of 2. So x raised to the power of 2. This will serve as the first term of the quotient. And it is written up here 2x raised to the power of 2. Step number 2 is to multiply each term in the divisor by the quotient of 10. So doing that, it becomes 2x times this. 2x times 2x squared gives 4x raised to the power of 3. Again, 5 times 2x squared gives plus 10x squared plus 10x squared. The next is to subtract this from this. If you do that, we are going to obtain 4x cubed minus 4x cubed gives 0. We are going to omit 0. Next is 6x squared minus 10x squared. This is going to give minus 4x squared. After subtracting this from this, what we are required to do is to add the next term of the dividend. Since this is x raised to the power of 2, the next term that must be added will be x raised to the power of 1. So which is this? Plus 3x. steps again from step number 1 down to step number 4. So step 1 is to divide the first term of the dividend by the first term of the divisor, which is first term of the dividend is minus 4x squared divided by the first term of the divisor is 2x. So this gives 4 divided by 2. You divide the whole numbers first. 4 divided by 2 gives 2, and x raised to the power of 2 minus x raised to the power of 1 is just x. Add the minus sign to it. So you have minus 2x. The minus 2x is the new quotient, and the quotients are written up here, minus 2x. The next is multiply all these terms by this new quotient of 10. Not everybody, but just this person of 10 minus 2x. If you do that, this arrow is going to be pointing at this person alone, minus 2x. Okay, 2x times minus 2x gives minus 4x squared. Again, 5 times minus 2x gives minus 10x. Minus 10x. The next is step number 3. And in step number 3, we are required to subtract this from this. Subtract this from this. If we subtract, we're going to obtain minus 4 minus times minus is plus. Minus 4 plus 4x gives 0. Let us omit the 0 and move to the next term. 3x minus minus 10. Minus times minus is plus. So we are having 3x plus 10x. That will yield 13x. After subtracting this from each other, the next is to add the next term from the dividend. And the next term from the dividend is going to be that with x raised to the power of 0. Saying this is x raised to the power of 1. So the next term should be x raised to the power of 0. And every term that is bearing x raised to the power of 0 is basically a constant term. So which is plus 7. Plus 7. We are going to repeat the steps again. This is our new dividend of 10. 3x, 13x plus 7. 13x plus 7. Since that's a new dividend, dividends are always kept inside 13x plus 7. And the divisor remains 2x plus 5. So we are going to apply the step number 1. Step number 1, divide the first term of the dividend by the first term of the divisor. If we do that, that is 13x divided by 2x. X cancels x, and we are left with 13 cannot go by 2, so the result is 13 over 2. 13 over 2. Here becomes 13 over 2. Next thing we have to do is to multiply 2x by this. If you multiply 2x by 13 over 2, we obtain 13x plus 5x times 13 over 2 gives plus 65 over 2. 65 over 2. Now next is to subtract this from this. If you do that, 13x minus 13x gives 0. We are going to omit 0. Next is 7 minus 65 over 2. 7 minus 65 over 2. And this is equal to 14 minus 65 all over 2 minus 51 over 2. So we have minus 51 over 2. From here, the remainder, this is called the remainder. So remainder is equal to minus 51 over 2, and the quotient this quotient is going to be added here, which is plus 13 over 2. So the quotient is 2x squared minus 2x squared minus 2x plus 13 over 2. That is the quotient. The quotient is this and the remainder is this. Very simple. Find the quotient and remainder when f of x is equal to 6x cubed plus 2x plus 1 is divided by 3x squared plus 2x plus 1. The dividend is equal to f of x, which equals 6x cubed plus 2x plus 1, and the divisor is equal to 3x squared plus 2x plus 1. We have x raised to the power of 3. There is no x raised to the power of 2. So we are going to provide 0 as its coefficient. X raised to the power of 1 and that raised to the power of 0. So the divisor is 3x squared plus 2x plus 1. Whereas the dividend is 6x cubed plus 0x raised to the power of 2. So we are providing a coefficient to x raised to the power of 2, that is plus 0x raised to the power of 2, then plus 2x plus 1. Now at this juncture, we are going to apply the steps in solving polynomial division from step number 1 down to step number 4. So step number 1, divide the first term of the dividend, which is 6x cubed, by the first term of the divisor. So that becomes 6x cubed divided by 3x squared. So that will give 6 divided by 3 is equal to 2, and x raised to the power of 3 minus x raised to the power of 2, that is 3 minus 2 give just 1x. So we have 2x, which is the first quotient of 10. Step number 2 is to multiply all these terms by the quotient of 10. Multiplying this term by this, 3x squared times 2x gives 6x cubed plus 2x times 2x gives plus 4x squared. Again, 1 times 2x gives plus 2x. Step number 3 is to subtract this from this. So 6, we have a minus 6x cubed minus 6x cubed gives 0. We are going to omit 0. Next is 0x cubed minus 4x cubed gives minus 4x squared. Again, plus 2x minus 2x gives 0. gives 0 plus 0x plus 0x. Now, after this subtraction, what is required is to add the next term to it. And the next term, after x raised to the power of 2, x raised to the power of 1 should be x raised to the power of 0, which is basically the constant term. So, which is plus 1, we are adding plus 1 to this expression. This becomes our new dividend. Step number 4, repeating the steps again. From step number 1, that is to say, divide the first term of the dividend by the first term of the divisor. That gives minus 4x squared divided by 3x squared. X squared cancels x squared, and we are left with minus 4 over 3. Minus 4 over 3. So we have here as minus 4 over 3. 3x squared, which is step number 2, multiply all these terms by minus 4 over 3. So 3x squared times minus 4 over 3 gives minus 4x raised to the power of 2. 2x times minus 4 over 3. 2x times minus 4 over 3 times minus 4 over 3. This gives 2x times minus 4 gives minus 8 over 3. Minus 8x over 3. We have minus 8x over 3. Minus 8x over 3. And 1 times minus 4x gives minus 4 over 3. Minus 4 over 3. Step number 3. Subtract this from this. You are going to obtain minus 4x squared minus 4x squared. So minus times minus gives plus. That is to say, minus 4x squared plus 4x squared is 0, and we are going to omit the 0. Move on to the next term. 0x minus 8x over 3 gives plus 8x over 3. 1 minus times minus 4 over 3 gives 1 plus 4 over 3. So 1 plus 4 over 3 equal to 7 over 3. So we have plus 7 over 3 plus 7 over 3. So this becomes the final result. At this point, we cannot divide further. The reason is because the power of this variable is greater than the power of this variable. So this becomes a remainder. Now the question is, find the quotient and remainder. Find the quotient and remainder. So quotient, let's call it Q. The quotient is equal to 2x minus 4 over 3, and the remainder, let's call it R, is equal to 8x over 3 plus 7 over 3. That is the final result. So we are going to try this. Take this task. When f of x remains this, and it is divided by 4x minus 2. 4x minus 2. Try this at home.